Hey everyone, just wanted to upload a video again, and I know it's been a little bit of time, but anyways, here we go. Lately, for the last couple days, a change of events been going on in people's lives. As I was saying in previous video, God's on the earth. God's adjusting things and things. Sorry about that. I don't know what the heck that was. But anyways, God's on the earth. He's adjusting things. Things are going to happen. There is a consequence to everything we do. And, lately, people keeps claiming things are happening and they're seeing it one way to another way. And, Christians are coming against a lot of things also. So many people take what they want to see and how they hear it, but it starts here, people. It starts in your mind. It's what are you seeing yourself as, and how are you taking something? We could take something falsely and run with it all night and day, and the devil wants you to do that. The devil wants you to have closed doors that God wants to keep open. But it's still your choice in life. I know I've been praying a lot lately, whatever God has, let it be done. And whatever God is going to do, let me see it. And through the pruning of myself and making me ready for heaven, I tell him all the time, prune off anything out of my life. Whether it's people, whether it's things, whether it's materialistical, which goes under things, or anything I'm doing that is not appropriate. I even spoke on how I even pray. God, let me do accordingly to your plans, your purpose, and your will. Let me only do with what you have sent me to do, whether I understand it, don't understand it, remember it, or do remember it. I know God has a better plan than I do. I'm not seeking the day to be fulfilled in my purpose. I seek to fulfill God's purpose. And you can come against this all night and day. It doesn't bother me because I live in peace. I live in joy. I live in happiness. I had someone ask me yesterday, while I was talking to him on the phone, said, hey, you never talk about your kids. Okay. But I know you had kids because I heard you say something about having kids. Yeah. It's like death. People pass away, we mourn it, and we move on in life. Do we have good memories? Yes, I remember the good memories. I know I said I'll never say names unless I actually have to, but two grandmothers I had my dad's mom and my mom's mom. Well, I knew my mom's mom, that grandma, compared to my dad's mom. I always grew up not her liking me very much, I would gather, because how she treated us when we were there. My dad's mom. I never really did get a warm, loving feeling out of there, so I didn't go around her much. But it doesn't mean she's not a good person. I bet I see how my two cousins were loved by her, and the times that I got to be invited to things over there, I got to see her interaction, which was cool. I mean, they're very close family, and I say it all the time. You want to see American sitcom family that's true, forget Leave It to Beaver and all these sitcoms that portray something, because I was shocked when I found out that a certain actor that did a very particular sitcom that didn't even like children, and he had children on it. I mean, that floored me. So that just goes to show you our expectations on things. And, but that's okay, because also I know my dad, I watched him, how he treated the children I had. And I say this is because, falsely accusing someone, it's not right, because you take something in a certain way. You become a very hypocritical person when you play judge. And the amazing part of this is I'm going to unfold some of this for you. You're being deceived by things that Lucifer knows that you are okay with. You know, someone asked me, and this is why I'm doing this, because I prayed really hard on this. And through prayer, the Lord gave me, I just want you guys, I don't know if you can see it too well because of this, but these are all verses. Not just on what I'm about to give you, but also on times angels appeared. You know, let's just face it. You know, here's something very interesting. 2 Corinthians 11:14. It basically comes out to Lucifer masquerades as whatever he wants. Doesn't say he is an angel of light, only that he is masquerade. Listen to this. Lucifer can turn into whatever he feels like turning into. He is that in control of things here on the earth. God gave him the earth. And if you think this is wrong, then start looking around your lives. Start looking at your children. When did parents stop becoming parents? You know, I remember getting in trouble, you get a whooping. You went to school, you got in trouble, you got a paddle. Some principals went a little overboard, I get it, but I learned my lesson real quick because I didn't want to go back down there and face that. Is it abuse? I don't know. I think if you go a little extreme, maybe. Like we have one that would get to the end of the hallway and come running down the hallway just to whoop you. And it hurt. I mean, people, it hurt. Not once, not twice, but 3 times he'd do this. It's a little ridiculous. Now that, to me, yes, that's an overboard. But today, look at your children. Where are they? What are they doing? I guarantee it, whatever you're doing, they're going to do it. And did I cuss a lot? Yes, I did. Quite a bit. Was I angered? Yes. Was I depressed? Yes. What am I can go down the list. Was I perfect? No. When my temper flared up, yeah, get out of the way. You know, and people say, well, hey, you know, everybody has somebody. I never said nobody I could ever not win against. But one thing I know in life, I was taught to fight. I was taught to fight and not give up. That is stupid. Because I'm going to tell you what, every fight I did win, I lost also. Every fight I lost, I healed harder. There's no win in any fighting. None. Because I tell you what, whether it's physical or it's voices, you hurt people and you hurt them. But that's okay, because people, you know, I had a guy I just sent a text message to, and he replied back to me, he goes, dude, what in the world, man? He goes, do you even read this stuff? And my wife tells me the same thing. No, I don't, because I don't want to change anything. Can I spell worth a darn? No. So many people has come and said, hey man, yeah, if I didn't know you better, I would have took this wrong. Or at least they're coming to me to correct things. But let me tell you something here. And let me find out which side it's on. So, Lucifer, as we know, can manifest into light. Appeared to be as an angel. Well, he was an angel. Lucifer's problem was pride. And I want you to look at your lives and really take a good look at your lives and say, do I have pride in my life? If you put yourself in different categories, let me tell you what, this is the best piece of advice I can give to anybody. Because these judgmental people, my thing is, I'm looking at it, why are you coming against me? Because your sin is better than my sin? Hey, I've been, you know, the thing that amazes me is when people call me Lucifer or call me Satan, or I'm looking at them like, well, you know, let's just stop the press here for a minute. Let's look at that headline. if I was Lucifer, aka Satan, the evil one, the Prince of Darkness, I can go down the list of whatever the heck people call him, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of names he's got. Let's just think about this for one split little tiny moment. First of all, if I was Lucifer and I was in control over the earth and I was in control of whatever you're doing, because let's face it, if you're on drugs, you're a liar, you're a thief, you can go down the list. I control you then. Okay? That means I can destroy you. Because you're not praying to God, you're not seeking God, you're not living a godly life. And woe to those who claim to be of God and do these very same things. But let me tell you, if that was the case, I would just annihilate you off this earth and send you straight to hell. The worst place that you ever, if you think, I used to go around saying there is no hell because this is hell. There cannot be worse than this. People, let me tell you what, when I committed suicide and I was legally dead, I seen hell, and it trust me. And if these foolish mind people that want to go along and think that because your ego is bigger than what you are, I'm not claiming to be a handsome man. I never have. But God made me. Whatever events took place to make me who I am, I got to accept it. Because I know God had a reason for it. I'm okay with that. I don't go around thinking that everybody under the sun thinks I'm attractive or everybody wants to be with me and get upset because someone says, well, you're not really that handsome, you're not my type. Good. That's great. That's what makes the world go around. People, look at what Lucifer's doing. He's destroying people quickly. And I use a lot of my life experience to talk about this stuff. No, I'm not bitter. And I'm not upset, because I'm going to get right back to why I'm saying this. Because someone says, hey, about your kids and all that. And I've simply answered, no. No. There's one still that I don't trust. And I don't trust a lot of people. But the Bible also says not to trust man, because man will let you down, man will fool you, man will betray you. Doesn't mean I don't love my children. No, I love them because I can pray for them. I love each and every person on this earth. I pray for them. I don't care what you've done to me. I don't care what you can do to me. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing you can't do is take away my happiness, my joy, my excitement in life. You can't take away where I'm going. You can help me get there quicker if you took my life. That's it. Everything else, I go to God and God gives me, and I'm in control of it because God gives it to me. See, God hands me the battery for that remote. And I know dang well if I'm driving in my car and I see a puddle, I'm going to go around it because I'm in control of it. I'm not in control of my life. I put that in God's hand. I don't want my free will. It's a dangerous tool. It's a dangerous, very dangerous tool. And I got to know this girl into my life years ago. And, has she come against me? Yes, she has. Has she said her piece with me? Yes, she has. Have I caught her in anything else? Not that I can find out. But the ugly always surfaces. Trust me. The devil wants you to know. The devil wants Christians in pain. But one thing I'm really 100% sure of, that when Jesus Christ went to the cross, he was never ashamed of who he was. Okay? Jesus Christ took on all sin, and Jesus Christ delivered it into the grave. I live on that. You can judge me all you want. I asked my peace with God. And I know I'm forgiven. And I know at home I have one true person that stands with me. And I know where I live, short about a 2-3 minute drive, I know I got some family there. I don't really know them too well, but I know I respect them. So before you get up in the morning and you start coming against people, or you sit and gossip and talk about people, you're describing Satan. Because certain people don't want to confess the truth in life. They don't want to confess what they have bartered with the devil with, and come up with these ways of blaming people. Let me tell you what, you can't blame me, you can't blame a pastor, you can't blame anybody else for the reason why you're not going to heaven. You can't blame God because something happened in your life, but what did you have in that equation? That's what stops it all. You stop it all. Because let me tell you right now, there's always more to the story. Because everybody wants the pity and everybody wants to be a victim. Grow up. Not everybody's going to like you. And I know a particular family member, she's very difficult to deal with. Very self-centered in life. And very hard. But you go out of your way because Jesus says. And it's not worth the effort. But anymore, I don't really care. I don't really care anymore. Because you got to start looking at what God is doing in your lives. And I pray daily for this to happen. And I pray daily for peace in the removing of, per se, garbage. And that's exactly what it is. I don't care. Call it whatever you want to call it. Think about it. You put your garbage in the garbage can, you put it on the curb, the trash man comes and takes it, goes to a landfill, whatever. But let me tell you something. 49 times, people, Lucifer shows up from the New Testament, from the Old Testament into the New Testament. And pride is one of his best things that he fulfills into people. Pride. You're full of yourself. You're better than everyone else. You think you're the best thing, the beauty or the male model king and queen of the world. Let me tell you what, I don't care if you're skinny, fat. I don't care if you got blisters all over you. God made you who you are, okay? Stop looking at these magazines, at these counters, and I'm telling you, I'm getting happier and happier when I've seen a lot more of them are disappearing. You ever notice? You used to have the Sun, the National Choir, and whatever else, and magazines after magazines. I remember as a child sitting there just staring at all these books like, whoa. It's not so important anymore because Satan puts devices in your hands and makes it that more important. Satan puts the very things. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I open that bunk curtain. Satan puts the very things in your hands. Game systems, phones, laptops, tablets. I gather you get where I'm going with this. It's at the touch of our hands. It's so quick. That's why porn is now one of the biggest things in churches, Christian lives. Oh my gosh, man, it's so intense. These kids are going on there posting these pictures and barely wearing clothing. You think about why is lust so popular. Look at the streets, people. Look how your kids are going out there. I remember telling the girls, like, hey, you're at the house, it's no big deal. When people are coming over, and I knew people were coming over, I tell them to put a shirt on, cover yourselves up. But yet I'm a pervert. If I was a pervert, I wouldn't tell you to cover yourself up. Think about it. One of the things I've always heard growing up, that older women make better lovers. And I don't know if it's true or not, but why I'm saying this is for this reason. Age will always play a part in something. You may get along, but that youthful beast, as I call it, likes to surface. And wisdom comes with knowledge of your age and where you're at in life. You know, people tend to allow people to talk to them, treat them like crap and everything else. God doesn't expect us to allow people to do that to us, okay? That's when you just ask God, let your will be done. You know, my wife used to tell me all the time, why do you talk to these people? Because they frustrated me, or they irritated me, or they brought out a bad part of me or something. You know, because God didn't tell me to stop. When God tells me to stop, I'm done. That's it. I want to read this to you. I got a few. Let me look at the time. Okay, still got a few minutes on this. Isaiah. Hold on. I don't know if it's on this page or the back page, because I got. Okay. This is basically about pride. Isaiah 14, 12 through 14. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 through 14. It says, how you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation. On the farther side of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet you shall be brought down into the lowest depths of the pit. That right there shows pride, people. That right there alone shows what Lucifer wants. He wants you to pretty much worship him. See, that's what he couldn't take in heaven, because people were praising God and worshiping God, and he's seen himself as bigger than God. Why aren't people, I'm at God's right hand side. Why is people not worshiping me? Lucifer, the Bible speaks about how attractive Lucifer was. So you got to look at things in life here. Beauty. No wonder why Lucifer uses beauty to enhance people. I look at this. If I'm walking in the desert and I hear a it's a rattlesnake. I don't need to keep walking in that direction. But I also was taught, if you run across the rattlesnake, keep it focused, look at it, and slowly move yourself at an angle away from it. Sidewinders, I don't know. I don't think there is any good thing of getting away from that. Cobras, I was also told the same thing. Some people say, well, if you look in a cobra's eyes, it hypnotizes you. Okay, maybe it does. I don't know. I never ran across a cobra, and I don't plan on ever getting into a situation. But I have ran across the cobra. Well, wait a minute. You just said you didn't. Yeah, his name's Lucifer. He wants to kill you. He wants to strike you with everything he has, because he doesn't care about you. He wants to take everything from you. And remember, I don't know if anybody's watched other videos, but I was talking about the book of Job. And right here is what I was talking about. Sorry, people. I got, during prayers and stuff, just tablets and tablets, like I said, just tablets of verses and stuff that the Lord gives me. And I'm glad, because it keeps me focused. It keeps me paying attention and researching the Bible more and grabbing into it. Here we go. This is exactly what I've been praying. Not this, but I'm going to touch on it. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and the Satan also came among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where did you come?" So Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, and walking back and forth on it." Let's just stop there for a minute. Walking back and forth, we know if you walk to one side, you could walk from New York to California if you had the energy and the time and the money, the stay, or whatever you're going to do. But you physically know you could do this. Now, to and fro, to heaven and from heaven. What else does it mean? Exactly what it means. Now, the saint answered the Lord, from going to and fro on the earth and walking back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless, upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? How many Christians can say that? Think, you don't think about it. How many people walk into churches and sing their songs, put their hands up in the air, do all these good deeds, have many things going on at churches, and you're participating in them, and you want people to see you, and you want the glory of God. Oh yeah, thanks to you, Jesus, because me. But then you gossip, you tear people down, and you talk about them. You may talk about their clothing, you may talk about their shoes. I had a couple family members really hurt my feelings because I liked a pair of shoes that I had. They were white, and they kept calling them old people shoes. Well, it hurt my feelings. It really did. And I ended up throwing them away. And now I wish I wouldn't have, because I really liked them. And I let people control what my thoughts were. But it wasn't that they controlled me. I was so hurt. Every time I looked at them, it reminded me of that day. And that's why I got rid of them. That's the only reason why I got rid of them. Because I don't care. I have plenty of people say my outfits never match. A lot of times I'll ask my wife. Not that I care, but it does hurt. I do have feelings too. I just don't wear it on my sleeve like some people do. And that's what causes a lot of depressions. How people see you or how people talk about you are the things you hear. I really have to watch being around people, because when things happen that it strikes a chord in me, it's hurtful. When I see people aggressively coming against someone that I love, I mean, that's hard to take, and it's hard to sit there, and it's hard to stomach a lot of things because of things that you have been through. Be grateful that you haven't been through some of the stuff that people have. I run across a few people here and there that they start telling me their story in life, and I'm like, whoa. But also, when you want to share your events and how God has helped you, people don't want to hear it. I mean, you can't even get a word in edgewise with some people. And it's just like, well, is this a one-sided conversation? I'd like to just get a box of little tiny mirrors that used to come in those rubber things. I like to get a box of those when people just start going on about themselves. Just hand them a mirror. You may say the same thing. Well, you need to look at one because all you're talking about. No, I'm giving you my life experiences, how God has changed me and how God has helped me. And I'm trying to help you because of what I've been through in life. Other than that, I don't know how to, and I do this also, whether anybody ever watches these videos or not, because it helps meditate me. It helps keep me from going into that dark mode that I used to go into. People, you explain something to me. If you think the devil's not real and you think the control of the devil is not real, I'm here to tell you it is. Because when I followed the devil and I walked down the devil's pathways and I used to fight and the strength, I've had many people back in those days go, man, dude, where do you get this strength from? Lucifer. You know how many people looked at me like I was crazy? Even some people that partied together, even some people that wore the t-shirts, listened to the music, it freaked them out. I remember this, and this is why I say Halloween, and people, you want to put these masks on, you want to decorate your children, your dogs, your fences, your yards, graveyards. You ever notice it's graveyards, it's zombies, it's vampires, it's wicked things? I speak from experience, people. I'm just trying to help you here, because death is coming for you. I remember a time there was people playing with the Ouija boards and seances and all this crap going on, and I walked in the room, and as God may stop my tongue if I'm not telling you the truth, I walked in the room and they were trying to light this candle, and all I did is rub my hand across the top of the candle and it lit. I had 3 people back away from the table and just looked at me. It's nothing to play around with. The Ouija board opens portals. Tarot cards ain't gonna tell you future. But let me tell you right now, summoning demons and chanting and decorations and going through all this, you're living the devil's holiday, people. And you wonder why your life is uneasy. You wonder why the things, and I'll speak the same thing about Christmas here, probably not on this video, because I got to keep an eye on that, because my time runs and then it'll delete the whole video. But let me tell you, all these horror films and all these things that they can't die off, Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, in control of your dreams. He haunts you in your dreams. What do you think Lucifer does? You ever have a nightmare? You ever have a dream where you just keep falling asleep and you end up right back where you're at? Well, maybe God's trying to warn you. You know, it took a long time for me to claim being a Christian, because I didn't want to say that I was a Christian. I didn't want to wear t-shirts. I didn't want to put on the crosses. I didn't want to do all this and represent Christ the way I represented Lucifer. And, you know, unfortunately, the Bible's full of him, speaking of him. That's how important it is to know who this person is you're dealing with. Look at your life. I can't stress this enough. If you're listening to a song you didn't like, you turn it off, right? Sometimes you got to turn people off in your life. Sometimes God, when you allow Jesus Christ 100%. I remember one day in prayer, and I'm sitting along this riverbank in prayer, because I told you I can go to different places. It's the coolest thing ever. But as a child, I always had a good imagination. I'm not saying this is imagination. I'm just saying, as a child, I had a good imagination. When I was being beaten, I literally would see myself standing outside my body and see the man beating me, and I was in a comfort. I was in a different place. You may say you're full of it. Well, if I'm full of it, I also know a famous actor that we were listening to